Yeah, and also Snoop as well would
Yes.
lean
Yeah.
into that.
Well, and then the Chronic, of course. I mean, literally the cover of the album.
Yeah.
There was something about there is something about someone like that is completely unique. That, like, I think what you said perfectly. That, like, that's what changes things, and that's what lasts. Whereas something that's derivative, or someone's just trying to do things that they think other people are going to buy, that's going to be successful. You might start out that way, and hopefully you can deviate and find your own voice. But if you don't, you can't keep imitating.
Yeah, and who cares?
Right.
It's a waste of your life.
Right.
If your goal is to make money, go work on Wall Street.
Right.
Do something else where you get there are ways to make money.
I think it's
But if you're
more
going to
that.
do it in art, it's different.
I think it's attention. I think they want the money, yes, but they also want to be stars. I think that's the thing. That's the real carrot. It's like the money that's big.
You see the other side
Yeah.
too. There's so many artists who are shy, private people.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for them to deal with any kind of success or fame. It's a weird world, and even the ones who think they want that, when it actually happens, it's a shocking. It's not what it's cracked up to be. Obviously, there are great perks.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to be successful, and there are things that happen when you're successful that you're not expecting, and things become a lot more complicated in your life, and it can shrink your life to the point of, I know some rock stars over the years who literally never left their house or did anything. Tom Petty would be a great example. The only thing Tom Petty did was record music, tour, watch television, read books. He wouldn't go out to dinner. He wouldn't go anywhere, because if he went out, someone would be, oh, it's Tom Petty. And it just made him uncomfortable. It was too weird.
Yeah.
And for the people who really buy into it, who like that can do a whole other trip. They, like in wrestling, they say living the gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens with comics too. You lean into your audience. You lean into what you think that they want to hear, and then you become them.
How do you stay true to your voice as a comedian through success, through the ups and downs of doing it? How do you stay true to what you're doing?
One thing I do is I don't read anything that anybody says about me.
Great.
That helps. And two is I spend a lot of time alone. I do almost all my working out alone, all the sauna time and cold plunge and, writing. I spend a lot of time just thinking and not thinking about what people think about me. Just thinking about what I like, what's interesting. And I think one of the things that really tempers me or keeps me sane is the workouts, because they're so brutal and they're so hard that everything else is easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's missing from a lot of people's lives, where you deal with the anxiety of fame and celebrity and just the attention and all the demands on you. And it's kind of overwhelming. And if all you're doing all day is like dreading those experiences, like if you're Tom Petty and you're hiding in your house, you're dreading going to dinner or dreading going out, then those moments do become too big to deal with. And then you just want to get away as quickly as possible and go back to your house. You see it in people that become famous. As I've become friends with more and more famous people, you see and they're always like asking questions of other people that are also famous. So like, how do you deal with it? Like, what is your solution? And I think my solution's the best one for me. I don't think I think psychedelic drugs help a lot. That's it's just these big resets. These big resets where you're like, okay, this is all bullshit. Like all this little weird game you're involved in with life and society and culture. It's fun and it's great and it's meaningful and it's fun for other people, but it's kind of bullshit. Yeah. Because the real thing is so much weirder and so much greater, and everything is connected in some very bizarre and unseen way. And that humbling experience of the psychedelic connection is also a nice way to just check you, Just put it back into perspective. But for day to day, you can't really just trip balls day to day. It'll just be too weird. So day to day for me, it's the workouts. Like it's doing things you don't want to do and doing them rigorously. And then when you get over it, there's also these physical changes that happen. The endorphin releases and the alleviation of anxiety, which I think is critical to being able to manage those states of fame. But you also got to have perspective and realize, like, hey, man, like this is just what comes with it. But the most important thing is, like, hey, you're getting to do what you want to do, which for me as a kid, starting out doing stand-up when I was 21, it was like this impossible idea. The impossible idea was just being a professional. Like, God, wouldn't it be great to not have a job and just to be able to get money from stand-up? It seems impossible.
Yeah.